It'd be better if I hit that. They're going to be able to hear that now, too.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of the show. Spring is upon us, and so is Skyler Saufley. He is in the studio with us today. How are you doing?
Good to be here.
And I see that, as usual, you have your sweet baby in your arms.
Oh, this is one of them.
Awesome. And Skyler Saufley is a musician, plays around Columbus, and a blues man. And we're going to dig into that a little bit, and he's going to play a song. And starting off, Skyler, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born?
Well, I was born up in Virginia. My family's a military family, so we were up there for a little while, and then we just kind of moved around.
Cool.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to say is we need to give a credit to the guy behind the counter, behind the cameras, who's pushing the buttons, the man whom without none of this would be possible, Mr. Tim Childry.
That's probably a blessing. Actually, I asked Brian to let me say something. The shot that you got a shot of Skyler before the show and hearing me talk, that was courtesy of me, guys. I messed up.
But this is infotainment, so we don't care. That's
live television or live internet.
Absolutely live and raw. There's nothing fake here, ladies and gentlemen. This media is real.
Hey, and one thing I wanted to say real quick, Brian, I know a lot of you guys out there are watching on YouTube. And if you have any questions for Skyler, Brian, or, you want to make any comments on my screw-ups, go to YouTube page and you'll see a comment section right under the screen, and you type that and it'll come out live and we'll pass it on.
So get on there and send us some feedback, and so I can talk to you guys out in the viewing world. Skyler, so you let's recap a little bit. Go back a couple of volumes here. Tell us about yourself. Where were you born again? Because I got lost.
Well, I was in a military family, so I was born up in Virginia. We were stationed up there for a little while.
So I guess that kind of answers what one of your parents did for a living.
Oh, yeah.
So what did your parents do?
Well, my father's in the military. He just retired a year or two ago. But my mom, she used to do real estate. And then a couple years ago, she left that and just kind of stayed at home and took care of stuff there.
Well, now, was your family musical at all?
Not well, my mom's side was, but my parents themselves aren't. They can't carry a tune with a bucket.
So your mom's side of the family was?
Yeah, they were all bluegrass pickers.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, my great grandfather, he could play anything. Like he played guitar, he played the fiddle, the mandolin, the banjo, the piano, the upright bass. He did everything. And my uncle, he did a lot of that stuff too. And everybody on my mom's side, they all played bluegrass and they could do all that stuff. And but I didn't really find out about all that until after I started playing guitar. So I didn't know they could do all that.
Oh yeah, by the way, my family used to do all that
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah. And I had no clue.
So why didn't she?
I'm not sure. She tried to play the banjo at one point, but she took maybe 2 or 3 lessons and then just
just wasn't really for her.
Yeah.
So with that being the case, what turned you on to what was the very beginning notion that, hey, music sounds kind of cool?
Well, when I was growing up, I didn't really know about music. I heard the modern country that my dad played on the radio and the rap music they played at school, and I didn't like either of it. So if that's all you know about music, then you don't really have anything to do with it. You're just kind of there, and you don't really listen to music. Well, then a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, you got to come over to my house. I got something you need to listen to," and I didn't know. I was like, all right, I guess. And I went over there and he showed me Elvis. And so, yeah. So you hear that and you hear, I think it was Heartbreak Hotel or something like that. And you hear that opening line and you're just like, all right, I want to be Elvis. I want to play guitar, And so, but all the time I always thought, if you listen to like the records, like, like Mystery Train and stuff like that, you hear that electric guitar. I always thought that was Elvis, but that was Scotty Moore as guitar player. So I always wanted to play that part, but I thought it was Elvis. So I thought if I could play all the cool guitar stuff and then sing like Elvis, you know, I'd have it made.
Right.
So I tried to do that for a little while, and you know, that's how I learned. I would learn you know, 3-chord Elvis songs.
Right.
And just I'd you know, when my parents weren't at home, I just have my cheapo guitar, just kind of do that little leg shake he does, just walk around.
Just a hunk on
Yeah,
burn a little bit. Now Elvis came out of very bluesy background, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Tupelo.
Tupelo, yes.
I know about that much.
What is that what made you want to do the blues?
Well, that same friend called me a couple months later and said, you know, I got somebody else you need to listen to. He's better than Elvis. And I was like, you can't be better than Elvis. No way. No way. You can't be better than Elvis. So I was like, I'll go over there, you know, just to, you know, call you on your bluff. And he showed me Muddy Waters. And, you know, I think it was Hoochie Coochie Man or Rolling Stone or something like that. But I heard, you know, the first lick and was like, you know, that is better than Elvis. You know, I think I want to be Muddy Waters now. You know, I don't want to be Elvis. So, you know, I just started trying to play what Muddy was doing. You know, like you listen to like the rockabilly guys like Scotty Moore playing with Elvis, and you know, they were more like chicken pickers. But then Muddy, you know, he got all raw, and he'd like, you know, when he played the slide, you know, it sounds all screechy. They call it the cat scratch sound, and
yeah, so familiar.
Yeah. And so I always tried to kind of mimic that.
Right.
You know?
Now, one big important question is Elvis or the Beatles?
I mean, it's they're both different. You can't really compare them. I mean, that's like, you know, apples and oranges. I mean, you can't. They're both good. You know. I mean, they're better at different things. I think when Elvis tried to copy the Beatles, that wasn't really his best stuff. But I think when the Beatles were copying Elvis, you know, they did a good job.
Well, they kind of came out of the blues too. I mean, they used
to
play a lot of that sort of thing. Of course, they were not from the South. They were from, you know, England. Now, tell me a little bit about like your first guitar. How did you get it?
Well, when I told my parents I wanted to play guitar, they were like, all right, you know, we'll take you to go get a guitar sometime this weekend. And, you know, that weekend came and we didn't go. So they were like, all right, we'll go next weekend. So I was like, all right. And then that didn't happen, but they were like, you know, they were going to give me a guitar. So I was like, you know, I'll just go and get one myself. So I, you know, at the time, I think I was in like 5th or 6th grade, and I like saved up my own money, and I had a coupon and went to Toys R Us.
Nice.
I got a $20 guitar with the coupon. So I ended up spending like $10 on this guitar.
Oh, wait, was it nylon strings?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. The finish on the guitar was a sticker. So it was like a sticker of this paint. And
it's awesome.
So it was pretty bad, but I mean, you know, that's what I learned.
Did it take you forward?
Yeah, I mean, I learned my first chords on it, and then when they saw like, you know, he's actually trying to learn. So then they're like, all right, we'll take you to go get a guitar. So I went, and my brother got one too. They were like, all right, you know, he's playing guitar, you know, we'll get him a guitar too. And you know, he quit after like 2 weeks. So then I ended up getting 2 guitars. So, you know,
nice.
So that's always good.
Win-win for Skyler. Now, real quick before we go to a break and then come back in and hear you play some. Now we heard about you being introduced to Elvis and to Muddy Waters. What did you grow up listening to?
I mean, really nothing. I mean, there was. I mean, I wasn't really around the bluegrass stuff my family did up until I started playing guitar. Then they were like, you know, I play guitar too. I didn't know that. So it was really the only stuff I heard ever was, you know, I mean, my mom always brings it up, Fantasia when I was little, you know, the Disney movie. And then, you know, modern country my dad would listen to, and then rap they played at school. But I didn't really care for any of that. You know, it just wasn't enough for me. So
and then you heard good music.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
Speaking of, let Tim bring up the commercial, and we'll be right back with some music from Skyler right after these words.
Timeless beauty at the Gypsy Cherub, 3760 Woodruff Road, Columbus, Georgia. Class is back in style.
Oh, baby, look how you got me standing round crying. Oh, baby, look how you got me standing round crying. I know you don't love me, little girl, but you're always resting on my mind. Oh, baby, you ain't nothing like you used to be. Oh, baby, you ain't nothing like you used to be. When I was deep in love with you, little girl, you was sweet as an apple on a tree. Oh, baby, I'm gonna ride you around in my automobile. Oh, baby, I'm gonna ride you around in my automobile. You got so many men, I'm afraid you may just get me killed. Sail on, my little honeybee, sail on. Sail on, my little honeybee, sail on. You just keep on sailing till you lose your happy home.
Excellent. And all that from a $10 guitar.
Exactly.
Going to commercial, guys. Be right back.
Hello, I'm Catherine Childry with Let's Vocalize. For over 35 years, I've coached vocalists and groups privately. I also perform vocal workshops training choirs. I'd love the opportunity to show you how direction, discipline, vocal health care, and regular practice can drastically improve you, your group, or your choir's performance. Call me at 706-536-6123 or visit us online at www.letsvocalize.com. I'd love to help you offer your best gift.
Hello and welcome back to the show with special guest Skyler Saufley. Good friend of mine has been playing around for a while. As you can hear, have just heard, he plays the blues. And so tell me, Skyler, a little bit about what type of blues was that? Because as I understand it, because I'm not a fan of the blues, and you have tried to actually explain to me on numerous occasions, and not with complete futility, but that there are many different types of the blues.
Right.
And what kind of blues are those?
Well, that was Muddy Waters. That was,
Nice.
One of the first songs I ever learned was called "Standing Around Crying," and then I went into "Honeybee." That's another Muddy Waters.
Right.
Yeah, but that was more electrified Chicago blues than what he did. But being in this environment right now, I'm playing it more laid back, Delta, Robert Johnson style acoustic, So yeah, more like country blues, the Delta stuff,
So a little education on blues for guys like me. I'm very much a rock guy, and I understand that blues did stem out of rock stemmed out of blues. But so give us a little bit about the footprint of the blues. Like you talking about Chicago style, and we've heard of Mississippi Delta blues.
Right.
Just how far did the blues go?
Well, I mean, it goes way back, like when, people were, singing songs out in fields and stuff,
Right.
And then, it just kind of, they would just be singing stuff, just to get through the day.
Right.
And then, as time went on, people started playing it on guitars.
Somebody got a $10 guitar.
We're gonna milk that $10 guitar.
Yeah. But, guys like me didn't start getting to play that stuff until the 60s.
Right.
You get guys
Yeah.
like the Rolling Stones and, Clapton and, the Who and all those guys. I wouldn't really be able to play that stuff if it weren't for them, because some people look at it as like a rite of passage, like, what makes you able to sing that kind of music. But when you got guys like that do it, and they do a great job, and you got guys like Muddy Waters that say they did a good job, that kind of gives you permission,
right, exactly.
Right.
And and I understand that the blues is like the rite of passage thing, and it comes from hard days and hard lives, but that doesn't mean that a person cannot fall in love with it and do it.
Right.
I
like what B.B. King said. He said, you don't have to be an old man born in the Mississippi Delta to sing it, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt to have the field cred,
Right?
Street cred.
Right.
Now,
Field cred.
Yeah, out in the field. You got a field cred, man. Now, tell me a little bit about what sorts of things you've got going on around town here, because you've been playing quite a bit with.
Been trying to.
Yeah. Well,
I can play everywhere, but nobody will give me money.
right. Well, yeah. But wait a minute. What's this money you speak of?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I've just been, trying to write my own stuff, and trying to get better at guitar. Every time my buddy Josh calls me, he's like, "What do you got going on?" It's like playing guitar. It's like, "Are you ever doing anything other than that?" No. That's all I do.
Are there other things?
Yeah. That's for the longest time, in school, I take my guitar to school every day.
Wow.
And every chance I got, I'd play the guitar until my teacher took it away from me. So then, if you're watching
Modern
this,
education system.
Yeah, but she took it away, and so then, I just knew I wasn't allowed to bring my guitar anymore.
Right.
So, but my dad always picked on me. It's like Ricky Bobby, without your guitar, what do I do with my hands? I don't know what to do. So I'm rarely without my guitar, whether it's this one or another one. I always have a guitar with me because I can be using that time to, get better.
Right.
So no matter what, I'm always going to be with the guitar.
Now, tell me some of the places you have played. I know you Crossroads Barbecue. You were playing out there for a while.
I was for a little while, and I don't know what's going on over there now, but now I'm playing at that Frogtown.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
very
April
good.
April 9th. Yep, I'm really looking forward to
I'll
that.
bet.
Really
I'll
looking
bet.
forward to it.
That's a cool gig.
Yeah.
Now, because I'm a musician. I've been around town, and everywhere I go, Skyler Saufley pops up to play lead for somebody. So, so you've come a long way with lead since that $10 guitar.
Yeah. Right.
I promise that's the last time I'll mention it. But I know Henry Connolly's had you play.
Yeah.
And you played with over at Tim's at the sports page.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. But tell me a little bit about where you would like to go with this, because sitting around playing guitar all the time, trying to get better, potentially could lead to something. Well,
I wouldn't mind it, but I'm really just playing. I just enjoy playing. If if I never make any money doing it, at least I'm doing what I enjoy.
Right.
But the main thing was as I started getting more into this music, I started learning more and more about how, it's disappearing,
Right.
you might be like, you look around town and you're like, oh, it's not, there's lots of blues bands playing,
Right,
but, to me, I think a lot of those guys are really just out trying to get a gig, because now it's in Columbus, it's kind of trying to get popular again. But I think a lot of those guys are just trying to get gigs. But, for me, I feel like it's my purpose as a musician to keep it going. So,
Right.
Even if I play a gig somewhere and then there's another 5th or 6th grade kid that, hears me play Muddy Waters, and he's like,
Right.
I want to be that guy. And then he goes home and buys a $10 guitar,
Right.
then I've done my job. That's really all I'm trying to do.
Inspire and
Right.
keep it alive.
Right.
So you're talking about trying to write your own songs.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about what you're trying to write about and about that process, actually.
You don't want to listen to my process. It's an awful process. Normally I'll sit down with a guitar, and it always has to be like late at night. Like I'm always
Right.
like 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm by myself. Whether I'm at home or a lot of the time, I'll just be wandering around Broadway with my guitar, and I'll
Right,
just sit down somewhere and start playing. But I'll sit down with the guitar and then play a riff, and I'll be like, I like that. And then when I hear that riff, I hear the rest of the song in my head. So I
Right.
can write the music, but I can't write words. So I can I'll have the progression figured out, and then I'll have like a vocal melody. So like
Right.
I could write words to it, but I don't know where to go from there. Now I've got stuff I've been working on that have lyrics, but
Mhm.
I'm too critical. So I might write it and be like, no, I don't want to deal with that, and then I'll just toss it away.
Trust me, I was out recently, yesterday, in fact, and heard a DJ playing songs. And trust me, Your lyrics cannot be worse.
And you know, I'll tell you, I am years old, and one thing that impresses me about Skyler is, I mean, to me at least, he's a young kid, and he has more knowledge and more talent than a lot of people I know. And I know I have a brother actually that is a musician, and he's towards my age, and he's impressed with the same thing. So you have a lot of potential to impress on the younger generation, and with that college that is nearby, constantly feeding talent in. The more people we have, the better, and it's really, really impressive.
I've got you guys fooled.
Skyler, smooth. So, you know, you listen to the Fantasia and the old country music before you discovered Elvis and Muddy Waters.
Right.
What do you listen to today?
I mean, I still listen to Elvis, and I still listen to. I mean, I listen to Muddy Waters all the time, just about every day. But you know, I mean, I listen to anything by any of the blues guys. You know, B.B. King, Albert King, Freddie King, Booker White, Robert Johnson. It goes on and on and on. And I mean, and then there's the rockabilly guys like Elvis and Carl Perkins, and I'm a big Chuck Berry fan. I love Chuck Berry. For the longest time, after I got into Muddy Waters and I found out about Chuck Berry, I would try to learn his songs. I made one year, it was my New Year's resolution to learn everything on his greatest hits, note for note. Wow. And I'd walk around the house doing the duck walk, and I'd practice that. So now when I'm playing, if I do something that kind of sounds like a Chuck Berry song, I'll hop across the stage. But it took a long time to get that. I practiced that probably more than I did guitar at that time, because it wears you out, you have to hop, but I listen to that, and I listen to a lot of the old school country, like I like Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson, I'm a big Don Williams fan. Cool. And a lot of reggae. I listen to all sorts of stuff, but I'm a blues player at heart. So whatever I play, if I'm playing a country song or a reggae song, it's going to come out like a blues song, no matter what I'm playing, it's going to be blues.
So I'm curious, where does the interest in reggae come from?
I mean, it's good. I mean, okay, it's really,
it's not related to the blues I'm aware of.
I mean,
we go to the islands.
I mean, it's different, but
it's
I mean,
cool, Mom.
I mean, you just jam to it, it's cool. Yeah.
Well, now tell me, well, not tell me, but let's see, you were talking about passing it on to the next generation and inspiring people. This kind of goes hand in hand with that. Tell the people out there what advice you would give to aspiring artists, musicians.
I don't think they want my advice.
Well, everybody who's got advice worth having doesn't think they have advice worth having.
Right,
so.
That's true.
So spill it.
But
well, that's how do you get to Carnegie Hall? The old saying, practice.
Right,
practice.
That is true. You just practice. I mean, when I first started, playing blues, when I started, I started playing it, and I would do stuff like real easy stuff. Like I learned a lot of Jimmy Reed songs where it's just like do just that shuffle. And then around my senior year of high school, that year I was homeschooled. My senior year. So and we didn't have internet at the time. So what I would do was I could get all my school stuff done in like an hour. So then I had the rest of the day to myself. So I locked myself in my room, and I would just play guitar to these records, like, and I'd play, with along with like Freddie King and Muddy Waters, Elmore James, and I'd just play and play and play for hours and hours, and then go to bed, and then start over the next day.
Wow.
So it was like a monk, in a monastery. You're just trying to figure out this one lick that Freddie King does, but you can't figure it out. So you spend like 3 hours trying to figure out this riff he's doing,
Right.
But when you sit there and you just keep at it, you get it, and then you understand more about music when you do that stuff. You learn about other styles of music,
right?
From getting down into that.
Repetition, practice makes perfect.
Right.
And it amazes me the talent we have around here. Once again, the young kids that are coming in here, and And I forgive me, guys, I'm not a musician, but I know these two gentlemen sitting in front of you are. And one of the things I want to do, and hopefully I can, is get everyone together one time and just try to get a little EP. Everybody do one song, send it out, and let everyone know Columbus has an immense amount of talent.
Yeah,
it's just untapped.
There you go.
You know what's interesting is what's interesting is as some years ago, in my earlier days on the scene, they actually recorded an album that had several of the local people. It's called 10 Songs from the Edge of Georgia, and I think the Loft had something to do with that. So that's one thing, and a follow-up would be good with people that are more present now than were at the time, like Skyler here and some other people. It'd be cool to do another 10 songs from the edge of Georgia. I'll just name it something else so I don't get sued. But
and promise it'll be more interesting than We Are the World, but I'm not going there.
I'll tell you what, Skyler, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. And Tim, appreciate you pushing those buttons over there. And next week is Easter Sunday. So we will not be on the air that day. And we hope everyone will have a good day with their families.
Go to church. Have a great day. And we will see you the week after next. Looking forward to seeing you. And I know you're looking forward to seeing me. And we'll see you then. That's a wrap.